I've been tracking the Marcus Houston divorce, and I haven't commented on it because, in all honesty, I didn't really care about it. I found it to be, I just wasn't interested in it. But one of the main reasons I wasn't interested in it was because those of us on this side, like, we know that marrying a woman that is, or a girl in Marcus Houston's case, marrying a girl that is 20 plus years younger than you is more than likely not going to pan out for you, right? So when I saw it, I wasn't, I felt like it was redundant. Like, I was like, I could get on there and be like, I told you so. We all told you so, you know. So I didn't do it, right? But then I started to observe how the manosphere and how the red pillars were responding to, to the information. And let me tell you, it has been nothing short of hilarious, because the red pillars and the manosphere have been telling men for a long time now, oh, you just need to get you a younger woman. You 40 years old, nothing's wrong with dating a 19-year-old. You 35 years old, nothing's wrong with dating a 21-year-old, whatever. You just got to get you a young one. You got to get you a untainted one, an unspoiled one. You know how they talk about women. And when you do that, all things will be right. You will be able to manipulate her into becoming the person that you want her to be. She'll never going to leave you. She's going to depend on you financially. You can mold her. You can show her the world like Aladdin wanted to show Jasmine. And she'll always be tethered to you financially, emotionally, through the soul ties and all the bullshit. They sell men on this idea, right? So when Marcus Houston ended up divorcing his wife, or in the process of divorcing his wife, because it was alleged that she cheated on him, their world blew up, and they're having a hard time coping with this. So what their go-to is. Obviously, their go-to is, it has to be, women will be women. You can't trust any woman. You can't trust any woman, of course. But they're still going to sell you on the idea that a young woman is going to give you the best chances of success. If you're an old man, they were selling this and touting this as a foolproof plan, by the way. But now when they talk about Marcus, they have to acknowledge, like, yeah, there are some drawbacks here. Now, I think it's interesting because I know as a grown man that dating a woman, in their 20s, as a 40-year-old man, dating a woman in her 20s, for many reasons, just doesn't really make sense. I don't have any 20-year-old friends for a reason, that are outside of like kids, or the kids of my, the children of my friends or something like that. Yeah, cool. I'll consider them a friend. But I don't have any like 20-year-old, 25-year-old people outside of my family that I just want to sit up and kick it with. We just don't have much in common. And they can be cool and they can be sophisticated as they want to be, but our lives are just different. It just would be odd if our lives aligned, if our outlooks on life aligned. It would be odd. I couldn't kick it with me at 25 years old. I couldn't be friends with 25-year-old public, and 43-year-old public would not be good friends. I wouldn't like that guy much. That guy wouldn't like me much. We'd be cool, whatever, here and there. We could be acquaintances. We would never be friends. So marrying a 20-year-old girl and you're a 40-year-old man just seems like a dumb, bad idea. On that basis alone, just the fact that you don't have anything in common. But also, people grow, people evolve. 40-year-old people evolve. Now, you're more likely to be more rigid the older you get, no doubt about it. But 20-year-old people are going to grow a lot. A lot. I am nothing like I was when I was 20 years old in so many ways. Some ways, of course, right? I'm like who I am. But in so many ways, I am nothing like I was when I was 20 years old. I know when I think about myself sometimes, this is a side note, when I think about myself sometimes and my journey, I think about the movie V for Vendetta. There is a really powerful moment in V for Vendetta when Natalie Portman's character, Evie, goes back and talks with V, right? And this was after she was held captive for a certain amount of time. And she, he told her, it was all a sham or whatever, but he told her that he did that to set her free, right? To help her overcome her fear. So she left or whatever, and she's out in the world. She's telling the story, and she's like, yeah, she said, for a while, I still was a little afraid of somebody recognizing me. But one day, she said she went to the store, and she was standing right next to somebody who she had worked with for years, and they didn't recognize her. And that's when she knew she was a completely different person, pretty much. She was like, yeah, they're like, I'm just completely different now. that is kind of like what I think, how I think about myself from 20 to now. I am a completely different person. I'm a completely different, I think differently, I speak differently. There's so many things about me that are different. I've grown so much since I was 26. Shit, since I was 30, I've grown so much. I have a family, I'm well established now. Completely different person. So I said all of that to say, I can imagine what it would be like to date somebody that is 20 years younger than you, and they're in their 20s. Now, if you're in your 50s and they're in their 30s, different. You're in your 60s, they're in their 40s, completely different. We get that. But I'm talking about specifically between the ages of 18 and even about 35, I would say. I would say 18 to 35. It slows down a lot after 30, don't get me wrong. But 18 to 35, depending on the age gap, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you're setting yourself up. You're setting yourself up for failure, both people, but definitely the older person, and I blame them more because you're supposed to be more mature. You already went through these changes. You're a different person. You should know that. But what I think a lot of these men want, what they want to do, they want to stifle the woman's growth. They don't actually they want to get her when she's a baby and keep her a baby. That's a part of the appeal in their minds of getting with the person that is significantly younger than them. And I ran this poll the other day and I asked the question. So I asked, are age gap relationships appropriate? And I chose this picture because when I made this post, I had just come across this dude and this beautiful woman that he has as his wife. She's like 25 years old now. Their boyfriend and girlfriend, now they're not even married. I should say this. So it's not his wife, but she's like a model. Obviously, look at her. She looks like a model. And I know this dude, he's an actor. I've seen him in movies before. He's been in a lot of movies from my youth. And my initial reaction was ill, as it always is with these couples. But yeah, so I use this picture, and also she, like I said, she's just extremely attractive. So I was like, yeah, this is a good picture. And I don't think the dude's a bad looking guy. I think he's attractive for his age. He's always seemed like a cool guy. He's French, I believe. But this is gross to me. But I asked the question, are age gap relationships appropriate? Shout out to everybody that took the time to participate in the poll. And so the options were absolutely the fuck not. To each their own. Love is love. And I hope this love never finds me. And 50% of people said to each their own. To each their own, right? I thought that was interesting. 17% said absolutely the fuck not. 4% said love is love. And 29% said, I hope this love never finds me. So if you couple the 17% with the 29%, because they're pretty much the same, that is 46%, and that leaves about 54% for the other two, because love is love and to each their own. It's pretty much the same. So yeah, most people, slightly, but most people think that, and who voted in this poll, of the 5,300 people who voted, said that they're okay. They think that, it's okay to date the, significantly younger person. Like I said, I think it's odd. Now, I do want to get to some of these responses real quick, because just to answer them, any age gap with someone under 30 years of age is a hard ass no. This person understood. When I talk, just for the record, if I say age gap relationship, I'm not talking about 40 to 50. Like, that's not to me, I wouldn't consider that an age gap relationship, right? I'm talking specific 20 and women and men, even more so, I ain't gonna lie, more so women in their 20s dating men in their 30s. So women in their early 20s, mid to early 20s, dating men in their 30s, mid 30s and 40s and up, right? I think that that's problematic. I think it's extremely problematic, and it leaves a lot of room for abuse. I don't know if the rate of abuse is nearly as close when it is an age gap relationship between a older woman and a younger man. I suspect the abuse goes up in that relationship for sure compared to people of the same age, but I highly doubt that the abuse is significantly different in the age gap relationship between those two people. So I don't judge them the same. You could, whatever, if you want to, you can say it's unfair, it's a double standard. I don't give a fuck. Take it up with your mammy. It is what it is. I didn't create the system. I'm just playing by the rules. And a lot of people were asking right here. Tara said, shout out to Tara Sanders. I appreciate you for leaving a message as well. Tara said, I think this depends on the life expectancy of each person and the younger party's age. Anyone under like, oh, whoa, no. See, I like what she said there, because this actually makes sense too. A 75-year-old, decrepit person with like 19 comorbidities on their way, 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot and in the nursing home, dating a 40-year-old, yeah, I think that's fucked up. I could actually see that as a problem too. So I actually respect that as well. But like I said, generally though, I care more about the 20-year-olds being abused, women specifically. Anyone under like 25 should really be in a relationship with someone near their age. I think 30 plus with life experience is okay to handle a decent age gap. Exactly what she said. That's exactly what I think. But now the manosphere red pillars are crashing out like they always do. Like they always do, right? There we go.
Marcus Houston is in a very tumultuous situation. And I believe that.
Hey, that toupee he got on his head, all that Beijing he got, that trash ass outfit he got on, that boy dressed like a Forever 21 mannequin. This shit crazy.
Most of us guys who are like in our midlife stages, we've seen what the dating world is like. We want something new. We tired of the baby mama drama. Baby daddy got 15 felonies. We're tired of clapping them cheeks, just being over entitled. So a lot of brothers like, look, I'm rich. Let me get something new.
Here's the thing that always blows my mind. If you guys are such a catch, if you guys are such good men, why are you middle-aged and single? Like help me understand this from your. I'm not middle-aged and single. I've been married for 14 years in 2 days, by the way. Shout out to me, my wife. We're for 14 years. Our anniversary comes. I've been with my wife for 18 years. It's fairly easy for me to find a partner if I want it. You know what I mean? Like it's been, I made really good choices when it came to, choosing my partners, and my wife was the best choice I could ever have made. I'm trying to find out though, if you guys are such a catch, if these women are so bad, the date market is so tainted, then why are you in it? Huh? Why are you not off the market? You got to make that make sense though, baby, to me. Like do it for Big Uncle Pub. The way that you guys demean women and try to talk down to women and say this stupid stuff, or try to paint this picture of single baby mother. Now look, I know that once you get to a certain age, 90% of women gonna have kids, just like 90% of men gonna have kids. Once you get to a certain age, you 35, 40 years old, every woman you meet gonna have a child, right? Fine. And that number's gonna go down the older we get. But right now, if you're a millennial, because you would be if you're that age, yes, you're gonna meet somebody with kids. If you don't have kids, tough fucking nuggets, bro. If you don't have kids and you actually deliberately made it a choice to not have children, right? And now you're in your mid-30s and you never found anybody. You never found anybody before that you can grow with, and you can make the decision like, yeah, we don't want to have kids, and you make the decision together. And now you're in your mid-30s, 40s, whatever, and you're out here looking for somebody that don't have kids. Good luck. Good luck. But y'all trying to shit on the people who have kids as if they're the problem when they're the norm is hilarious to me. It's fucking funny. I'm so tired of dating single baby mothers. Go call up Doc, buy the fucking DeLorean, go get them dope ass Nike Air Max that Michael J. Fox had on, and hop in that bitch and gun it to 67 or whatever it is, man. God damn, take your ass back to when you 20 years old and nobody had kids yet. We grown, bro. You literally want to date children. Shit is wild. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of y'all getting up here talking like y'all the motherfucking prize. You ain't shit. If you were so good, you would have somebody. You ain't got nobody. That proves to me you ain't shit. And I'm talking to the men specifically. I know y'all hate double standards, but let's look at it objectively. I know women are choosing to be single. I know women are choosing to be single because men are choosing to be assholes, right? Let me put it bluntly. Women are choosing to be single as long as men are choosing to not grow, right? Okay, cool. But when you flip that around, it's not the case for men. Men want a woman. Let y'all tell it, because he talking like, I'm too tired of the hoes. We tired of the 304s. We tired of the baby mama drama. My guy, then why don't you take the approach of women when women don't get online and complain about this shit? This is not a common occurrence. There are pages of women like dedicated to complaining about this, believe it or not. They talk about men being fucked up, but they don't give a fuck. Like they themselves, when you talk to those women, they're like, oh yeah, I'm 5 years celibate. Like, and I'm happier than ever. Yeah. I'm 18 months celibate. Yeah, I'm good. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I don't have to worry about catching nothing. I've learned how to paint. I can skate backwards now. I've got a new degree. All types of wild shit women do. You know what I mean? When they don't have a man fucking sucking the life out of them. So no, it doesn't go both ways. I can hear the both ways Bobbies out there fucking crashing. No, but what you just said the women and the men don't need to. Yeah, I'm talking to you specifically, man. You.
That's not tainted in the ways of experience or have kids by other people.
Not tainted in the way of experience. My God. Say that again and make it sound less creepy. Let me hear that again.
Felonies. We're tired of clapping them cheeks just being over entitled. So a lot of brothers like, look, I'm rich. Let me get something new. Okay. Somebody that's not tainted in the ways of experience or have kids by other people. Let me get somebody new. And so Marcus Houston decided to do that. Okay. Marcus Houston decided to get with, I believe her name is Maya Houston. All right. And Maya is just.
Hey, I ain't gonna even hold you. I know she's beautiful and super attractive. I don't know if that's her real face because I haven't seen too many pictures of her myself. Because yeah, I don't know. I don't really be keeping up on Marcus Houston. But that looks like a hell of a bold glamour filter right there. Like it really does. That shit caught me off guard. I was like, damn.
Like Marcus Houston,
there
she's Jehovah's Witness.
See, there we go. I've seen this picture before. Yes. Okay. That's the face I remember.
Okay, so same religion, and he was older. Now you heard the allegations. He was 17 when he allegedly was introduced to her, then married her at 18, and he was booty clapping it up. By the time she was 19, and then it was married.
No, he was having sex with her. He was having sex with her for sure when she was 17. That's my guess. I won't say for sure. I think Marcus Houston was having sex with her when he was 30 something and she was 17.
But remember this interview that Marcus Houston said about single mothers.
I'll sit and talk to women that are my age, and they kind of have a different outlook on life. You know, a lot of women my age are very independent. They are very like, I don't need a man to do this for me because I could do this for myself. And I come from a generation that I'm very, very, love to provide for my wife. I love to provide for my woman. And I'm very in that generation, like the old days, I would never want to be with a woman that felt like, oh, I don't need you, or I don't, what I'm saying, like that. So, and there's a lot of women my age. I've dated women my age, and they may have baggage, they may have kids, they may have not. It's just there's so many different women that I've dated throughout my life. And
he's saying he would never want to be with a woman that doesn't need him to provide for her financially. And why do you think that is? I'm gonna say it every single time. Because you guys say the quiet part out loud. I just be listening. I'm just listening. Marcus Houston got him a 17-year-old girl, married her when she was 19, put 2 babies in her, or at least 1 baby in her, as far as I know, tried to slow her down and make her financially dependent on him. You don't like to take care of your woman. You like for your woman to depend on you financially so that you can control her.
It's just so happened to be the one that caught my heart.
So what was your red flags like when you like dating through all through her? I know you probably met like some of the most beautiful women in the world. What was some like red flags like, no, you're out. No, red flag, he's like, I'm done. Next.
Red flag for me always if a woman had a kid. Nothing against single women, single mothers with children. I respect them. I love them. I feel like that's one of the toughest jobs, to raise a child and also raise a.
Like I said earlier, grow up. But secondly, though, this is an excuse that older men like to use, especially men who don't have kids. They like to be like, I don't want nobody with no kids. And da-da-da-da-da. You don't give a fuck about them babies. You wasn't gonna take care of them kids no way. But it's so funny listening to a man that 30 seconds ago said he loves to provide and protect, but he don't want a woman with kids. Why not? I thought you loved to provide. I thought you loved to provide, Marcus. See, I don't give a fuck how many kids a woman got. If I love her, I'm gonna love them babies and I'm gonna provide for them. That seemed like the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? And I can't even say I love to provide or whatever the case may be. I definitely don't mind it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I love it or not. I definitely don't mind it. And it's not even something that I actually think about. Like it's such a no-brainer for me that I don't even think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just I make enough money. My wife doesn't want to work anymore. She doesn't have to work anymore. Like that's how that works for me. That's it. If I make enough money and my wife doesn't want to work anymore, cool. She doesn't have to work. That's it. Done. We make our bills are this. If I make this, because that's what we need to cover the little buffer or whatever, cool. She's like, all right, I'm out. I'm gonna stay home. Ooh, shit. She still don't got to cook my dinner. She don't got to wash all my clothes. She can do the same amount of work she doing inside the home right now, and I would be perfectly okay with that.
The child by yourself and to be a woman, 100% tip my hat. Respect to the women that are raising children on their own.
You don't like them women. Stop lying.
But just with me, for when I grew up, I never really wanted kids. And, I would talk to my dad a lot, and he would always tell me, look, have your own kids, because you never want to have, you don't know what the baby daddy's.
Your dad a piece of shit. But he just said he never wanted to have kids, and he didn't have kids. So why do you, again, this is what I think, men don't have babies because they want them. He just said he never wanted to have kids. But then why did you have kids? Don't say, oh, well, my girl really wanted to have kids. But you didn't want to have kids, though. You didn't want to have kids. There are plenty of women our age, Marcus. You're 40. I think Marcus is 44. I'm 43. He's a year older than me. I'm pretty sure, Marcus, you can find women that have grown adult kids that you ain't even got to fucking see outside of Christmas and Thanksgiving. That's it. Maybe Easter Sunday. But you don't want them? So how did you end up with kids when you just said you never wanted to have kids? It's because he wanted to sit that little girl down. He wanted to sit that girl down. That little girl he married, he wanted to sit that girl down. So he put some kids in her. You don't care about providing. You just said it. You just said, well, I don't want nobody with no kids. So I know you're not a real provider. The only reason why you wanted kids was so you could control that girl that you got. You thought that was going to be the thing. That was your last thing. So you got her financially. Then you put them kids in her. You was like, got her. But she wiggled up that motherfucker.
About, if you're going to have kids, make sure as a woman that they never had kids before, and you can have your own. So I kind of stuck to that. So that was always my red flag. But then that's a personal choice.
We all know what happened and what became down bad.
How is having kids in your 30s or 40s a red flag? It's not a red. Do y'all know what the fuck a red flag is? Now you can say you have a preference. My preference is motherfucking a 7 foot tall green Martian woman, right? That's my preference. Let's say, okay, cool. A red flag isn't a woman that's 5'6", dark brown. That's not a red flag. Oh, she ain't a 7 foot tall fucking green Martian. So therefore, that's a red flag. That's not a fucking red flag. You just had a preference. Your preference was to not get with the woman that already had children. Okay, fine, fair enough. I'm saying I really only give that caveat. I really only give that pass to men who don't have kids themselves, or to men who have grown kids, right? But if you have kids and you don't like women with kids, that's a red flag. That's a red flag.
As of that. Now, she unfollowed. They are not following each other. She is moving on with her life, working inside other dudes' cars. I want to give a shout out to the brother Sean Davey Way show here on YouTube. He found some information. Okay, he went and he's been looking at Marcus Houston's Instagram, and I want to go over some of the screenshots. Like Marcus Houston's down, but he's going through it right now. Okay, things to keep private, everything. Okay. Never force anything, just let it be. If it's meant to be, it will be. Don't be too nice to people. People will use you. Maybe I'm hard to love, but I love so hard. So he over here pouring out his damn feelings and shit. And then look at this. Look at this girl. Boom. One a time. That's her with another dude around her age. I'm going to tell you, brother, something, man.
The fact that these dudes aren't able to piece this together and put this whole thing together is hilarious to me. So you have a young woman who was stolen. She was stolen. Her youth was stolen from her. At least a portion of it, because she's still really young, thank goodness. A portion of her youth was stolen from her by this old, nasty man. And this is what everybody who understands these things, specifically women, have been telling men who date younger women, is what they say. As soon as that woman matures and her frontal lobe, her prefrontal cortex, her prefrontal cortex heals, and it, you know, it ain't, she don't got that soft baby spot. As soon as that motherfucker heal up, she is going to realize what you did and what you are doing to her. And if she has any intelligence, if she has any self-worth, she is going to either push back or leave. I'm sorry, either or, I should say. One is going to happen before the other one, but she'll push back and maybe the older man will adjust. Maybe, right? But he probably won't. And if that is the case, then she's going to leave him. Period, point blank. She's going to realize she was kidnapped one day. She is going to walk by a milk carton and see her face on it. And she's going to be like, wait, that's me. Hold on, mama. You're not my mama. They're going to call the number. She's going to call the FBI and find out that these ain't her fucking parents. They took you from a playground back in 87. And that's what the women they've been screaming at to men who be told, I want to date a young woman. I want to date a young. Okay. Wait, just you wait.
It sounds, that whole idea of, let me tell you something, brothers. I live in Africa, okay? And most of the
No, you don't.
average age of people in this country is 16. So a lot of the women you come across,
Africa isn't a country. That's how I know you don't live in Africa. Stop lying.
21, 24.
Why y'all get on the internet and lie like this?
Or you'd be lucky if you come across somebody single in 31, 32, things like that. Because you know, a lot of black men, you know, if you're looking for somebody that ain't got no kids. And when you're a 40-something-year-old man, a young woman is a lot to keep.
The reason why y'all want a woman that ain't got no kids is because when you impregnate that woman and those are your babies, she is tethered to you. If she has kids, she's been taking care of the kids without you, you know, up until that point. So she can take care of the kids without you after you leave. And them ain't your babies. You have no reason to be in contact with her after you guys break up. That's why y'all be so beholden to this idea of marrying or dating a girl or a woman who doesn't have kids.
Up with, brothers. We got to understand that. It sounds cool when she don't really know what's going on and y'all meet at first and, you know, I'm dealing with somebody older, but you don't understand you're going through a lot of growing pains with her. You know what I'm saying? And you don't see the world the same. Like my mom is about 30 years older than me. That's a big difference, okay? The way my mom saw the world, it's like how I see the world now. I mean, you know what I mean? When I was coming up, but it wasn't like that when I was coming up.
Of course, that's what he looks like, by the way. This is crazy. Why is this dude even talking about relationships? Why are he talking about smashing, having sex with anybody? You don't have sex, bro. Nobody but Festina and Pamela. Them the only threesomes you ever had in your life was Festina and Pamela, man.
Coming up. I was hard to deal with. And when you're dealing with somebody who's not from the same generation as you, and you're dealing with a woman that is younger that wants to go out, look, the dude got her dancing in the cars with other dudes, she in the car with all these dudes twerking, booty clap. This is a chick that was a Jehovah's Witness. Man, she's trying to be free. She done had them kids. She don't want to be in the house with them kids. She fine, bro. Like, y'all got to understand that. These chicks be bad, okay? I had one chick that she was just so bad, I would.
No, you didn't. You about to lie again. You've never had an attractive woman in your life. It's never happened. Like, let's just be honest. You never had it before.
But never try to make it so much of a hard body relationship. She liked me too. You know what I mean? She was cool.
No, you can. Oh my God, man. Never mind.
She still is cool, but she was young. I'm talking about, listen, SPK didn't seen her before. The booty is she's like real small.
Lying. Putting 10 on. Lying.
The booty is from like here to Tanzania. If you think that somebody that looked like that just want to be in the house giving birth all the time, when she got every opportunity in this life,
So you basically saying ugly people want to just stay in the house? Because you ugly and you saying you just want to stay in the house. Is that what's going on right now?
Fine. She's beautiful. Come on now. She's getting attention. No. She's model-ish. Man, his wife is fine. She in LA. She's trying to get out there and have fun, see the world, dress nice. She don't want to be out there just hugged up, bro. You 40-something. You lived your life, man. And if you,
like I said, now they're trying to be like, oh, that's crazy. You want to date a younger woman? That's crazy. You should have already knew, Marcus. You should have already knew she was young and hot and she wanted to get out there. Y'all been screaming at these men to marry these little girls for the last 3, 4, 5,000 years. That's what men been on for a long time. Marry a little girl. Marry you a little girl. Be 45. Marry you a little girl. Be 38. Marry you an 18-year-old, a 19, a 20-year-old, a 22-year-old. That's what y'all been screaming. Now all of a sudden is you should have known better. Shut the fuck up. Keep it. Be consistent with your be consistent with your rhetoric, fam.
You're gonna get a chick, man. You gotta get you one of them chicks that ain't maybe she's a little homebody, but you getting them super bad chicks talking about 19. Bruh, it's a headache. It's a headache. It sounds good, but that woman she wanted to get her cheeks clapped by possibly by somebody else. And now there she is, somebody with your kids, right? And here's the funny part about what he was saying. Oh, he didn't want somebody with some baggage. Now look, now she got baggage.
Now, I got to say something real quick. I believe that if I think Marcus Houston more than likely was abusing this girl. I think if he wasn't abusing her, even though she was young and all of that stuff, I think they could have stayed together forever. No doubt about it. But that's not the case. Her stepping out and cheating on him tells me that more than likely he was being abusive and she was reacting to said abuse. What type of abuse? Narcissistic abuse, financial abuse, almost guaranteed. I can almost guarantee you those are the two things. How he was speaking about single mothers, how he was downplaying, how he was degrading women and stuff like that. He obviously doesn't hold women in the highest of esteems. He only sees women as a means to an end. He sees women as utilities, and he sees them as status symbols. So, yeah, that's what type of time he was on. And that type of relationship, when somebody is treating you like that, will inevitably lead to disaster.
We talked about a 19-year-old trad wife earlier. And so Marcus Houston had been criticizing the dating community for a while. He is on record as saying that he doesn't like to date single mothers. All right. So he said a red flag for a woman is if she's a single mother. And so he's just like us men who are up in our 30s going into our 40s. We're like, why work so hard and pass it on to a single mother, or pass on all of that work and only get a woman that anybody could have got? So he did what most people might say we suggest over here, is that just marry a younger woman. Now, we don't say marry a younger woman. We basically be like, hey, just deal with younger women. All right. Deal with younger women. And she's a beautiful young lady.
So this dude is such a grifter. I've listened to this dude lie so many times and just say like the weirdest shit so many times, because he's clearly trying to appeal to a certain audience of men who have bought into this, like extreme, hatred of women. Like, and one video I did of his, he said that he was talking about dating and he was saying that he pays for dates, but the people who listen to him shouldn't pay for dates. Right. And right now he caught himself because he was like, oh yeah, we don't, he talked about him being a wife or finding you a young wife. And he was like, but we don't say marry him. We just say deal with him. Like, okay, bro. The men who you're talking about, bro, sir, they have no access to any woman, let alone multiple super attractive young women. So he's just selling them this dream that they could like one day maybe have a bevy of young attractive women that they could just quote unquote deal with. Like they would be lucky if they had one that they can marry. But he's talking to them like, oh yeah, just deal with him, bro. Like that's what I do.
And he thought he had him one, to the point where he put 2 babies in this woman. 2 babies. Okay. 2 babies. So they got married, 2 kids. So everybody's caught up. Married, 2 kids. He got her at 19. He actually met her at 17. But because both of them, I believe, are Jehovah's Witnesses. All right. He was able to say, I can vouch, or have a group of people that vouch for this young lady.
Yeah. That's why religion needs to be removed from anything that matters. This is crazy that those people were able to sell this young girl off to Marcus Houston in this way. If that's the case.
This is what Greg the Guru said. you'll inadvertently raise her sexual marketplace value. Now, you saw how attractive she was with all that hair and makeup on. She's an attractive woman. But when you bring her into that world of high-powered men, celebrities, bigger, better, stronger, faster, you just raised her marketplace value by marrying her. And now you invite her to your world, and now she's seeing basketball players, celebrities, Coach Greg Adams. All right.
Man, shut up. And this is also just an odd thing to say, the way that he's talking about her. He's saying, like, so Marcus marrying her raised her market value, but it was the other way around. Men are not status symbols for most women. Again, this is what men say. In this particular case, for an example, when men talk about the whole, like, I can marry a girl that work at Starbucks, I can marry a girl that work at Sonic Burgers, I can marry a girl that work at McDonald's. It don't matter. I could be wealthy and scoop any girl up that's pretty, and I can. This is what Marcus Houston did. Because for men, in the world of men, we don't care. This is what men say. We don't care about a woman's accomplishments. We don't care about her education. We don't care about her intelligence. We don't care if they're witty. We only care about how attractive she is. Marcus Houston, and we care about, this is another thing that men care about. They care about how many bodies she has, because her body count or lack thereof, coupled with her beauty, like, damn, you got somebody that is that attractive that hasn't been sleeping around. Oh my God, you really won, right? So that raises Marcus Houston's status. That is why a lot of men in his scenario are desperate, and they're so desperate that they'll date literal children. So this is the complete opposite of what happened. She raised his market value. He didn't raise hers. She could have got any man that she wanted. She settled for Marcus Houston. If that girl would have got dressed up at 19 years old and sat courtside at any basketball game and sat at the 50 yard line mark in any football game, or showed up to any club, she would have been there front and center. A man would have chose her. A celebrity would have chose her. That's all she had to do. She settled for Marcus Houston still. But y'all like to paint this narrative that these women are just waiting to be saved and all of that stuff. They're not, man. Men are the only ones that need saving, coach.
Right? She's now exposed to a world that she was not probably exposed to until you raised her marketplace value through marriage. You invited her.
Marriage does not help women. Marriage takes away. Because here's the thing, you guys, the way that you guys talk about women, and you've been doing it this whole time, men don't want sloppy seconds. That's pretty much the message we get, right? So, and women know this too. When celebrity women will tell you this, when they get a girlfriend or whatever the case may be, when they get a boyfriend, keep it quiet. I'll never forget, my homeboy said a long time ago, I forget who the woman was. Man, it might have been Beyonce, it might have been Sierra. I can't remember what woman it was. I just remember it was a celebrity, a woman celebrity, and she had recently got pregnant. He literally said, it might have been Kim Kardashian even. I can't remember. It was that long ago. It was a long time ago. And I just remember him being like, yeah, she's not hot to me anymore because she's married with a baby or something like that. And I was like, that's crazy. I remember thinking that like 15 years ago. I remember thinking that a long time ago, like, that's weird. Like, she's still fine. Like, I don't know. But it's the other way around for me. When men get married, when men get women, our status gets elevated. When a woman sees a man with a woman, it makes her think, oh, he might be trustworthy because he got a woman with him. It makes a man more trustworthy. So I don't know what you're talking about. It's the complete opposite of reality. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. And essentially, you just see the red pill movement. They're out here telling these lies, selling these lies, trying to cope right now with one of their fallen soldiers, a red pill general in the army of misogyny, Marcus Houston. It didn't pan out for him. So they're doing all of this stuff. You saw the name of this video or whatever is Trad Wife Defies the Norm. No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Trad Wife didn't defy the norm. This is actually normal. A young girl getting preyed upon by an older man And then upon her becoming, more mature, she realizes that that young man, that older man manipulated her and abused her, and then she leaves. Very, very normal. Let's start telling the truth.